the sounds of my heart. Silence. Light pours in.
The lovely Miss Faith Hunter.
Hello, how are you?
Introduce yourself for the listeners. This is a different type of interview, so I'm going to let Miss Hunter introduce herself.
No, I wanted to see what you were going to say. I was kind of excited about that.
This introduction has to come from you.
Oh, really?
I cannot give this introduction. I have never introduced an artist such as yourself.
Yeah.
So I'm going to allow you to introduce yourself.
Okay.
And tell our listeners what artistic form you're bringing to our program right now. Once again, the lovely, the beautiful Miss Faith Hunter.
Thank you.
TGM Radio.
Hello, TGM Radio. I'm Faith Hunter, and I'm a yoga instructor. I am a writer. I'm a poet. I'm an underground DJ. I don't know.
Many hats.
Yeah, I just love a lot of stuff. I love stuff that's passionate. So.
First and foremost, we know you as Faith Hunter, the yoga instructor.
Yes, that's how most people know me.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a different vibe that we bring to the studio now. It's a different artistic form. What brings you to our program, Miss Hunter? What are you promoting as a yoga instructor to our listeners?
I guess the main thing that I'm kind of promoting is just peace and love. I mean, that's what I give out when I'm teaching, and that's what I try to offer up every day. You know, so I think it just flows in with your vibe anyway.
It's a different feel. It's a
different
vibe.
approach. It's a different angle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you have integrated your art form with numerous different talents.
Yeah.
You've integrated your art form with music. We are known for interviewing and highlighting artists, musical artists. But you have integrated your artistic background with artists that we would interview.
Yes, of course. You know, the reason I do that is because I think it fits perfectly. When you listen to the Naivingi drums, right? They're heartbeats. Heartbeats. And so when I'm teaching yoga, it's like you have to breathe, you have to follow your heartbeat, you follow that rhythm. So it just kind of flows imperfectly.
With that being said, let's get into Miss Hunter's background. Where are you from?
I'm from Louisiana. I'm country. Real country.
Okay. And what made you realize that the art form that you present, which is yoga once again, what made you realize that you could integrate this art form with music?
You really want to know the real story?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
That's what we want to know.
This is really personal.
TGM Radio, King on Caribbean Showcase.
It's serious nitty gritty.
We get to the bottom of it.
I see. This is real serious bottom. Okay, here we go. So when I was young, I was like, young impressionable gal. I was married, man. I was married. I was married to a Jamaican guy. And and he DJ'd. He DJ'd. And so, I mean, it's in the house every day playing, and there was, we just listening to music, and at the time I was just getting started my yoga practice, and I was like, this works. And then when I started teaching, that's the stuff I listen to when I'm in my room, in my apartment, and just jamming out. So yeah, so it's the result of my ex-husband.
We're gonna go a little bit deeper. Shout out to the ex-husband. But what type of music did he actually DJ that you actually started performing to?
Literally everything, because I think a lot of times people think that yoga has to be done to slow music, and it doesn't. All right, it's all about the bass in the background. But one of my favorite artists back in the day is Tanya Stevens.
Okay. We gonna get into
Because
that.
I'm a female artist. I mean, it's power to the girls, you know.
We gonna get into that, but before we get into that,
Oh, am I ahead of you?
I would like
Is
for
that a
you,
question?
before we get into that, I would like for you to explain to our listeners the basic principles of yoga.
Okay. So the fundamental basic principles of yoga is there are a couple of elements. The first element is breath and really allowing yourself to be connected to the breath, and that's number one. If breath doesn't exist, it's just aerobics. And then the next thing that's really important, of course, are the movements and the asana, right? Asana is the Sanskrit word for
I'm
yoga
gonna have to
postures.
slow you up for a minute, Miss Hunter.
Yeah,
Breath.
breath, yes.
The explanation in a yoga term. Breath.
Breath.
What
So-
would that be?
Yeah, so that is a very conscious way of inhaling and exhaling. So a lot of times we don't use our full lung capacity when we breathe. We breathe really shallow. Right? I'm just like, right? But in the yoga practice, it's very conscious. It's very like methodical. So you want to make sure that you're breathing really, really slow because that's how you want your body to move in a very mindful way. So your breath is mindful.
I'm gonna need some yoga instructions. I'm not gonna get into that right now, but
You know you want to get into that, right?
but Miss Hunter, you are renowned for your yoga ability. You've created different. I wouldn't say it's different forms of yoga, but you've created your own lane as far as yoga. Tell us a little bit about that and what you have created and what Miss Faith Hunter is known for. What made you the world-renowned yoga instructor, Faith Hunter?
Whoa. I guess it's right. I kind of created my own lane. I just kind of like add my own spin to it and my own flavor, and it's called Spiritually Fly. Yeah, and it's
That's trademark, by the way.
It is. So Spiritually Fly is really all about, you know, connecting the movement and the breath, but tapping into your highest power, your highest energy, and celebrating that, but in a very modern approach. The yoga practice is ancient, and a lot of people think that it came from India. Actually, it came from Africa. You can actually find images, hieroglyphics of, you know, Egyptians doing yoga, right? And so it's old, but the thing is, like, we live in a modern time, we live in a modern age, and so in order to share this practice and really connect to people, because I feel like that's my purpose anyway, is to help people see themselves in a better way, in a deeper light, and I use that practice by blending the ancient texts, right, the ancient philosophies, the approaches, and merging in my modern approach.
Okay, I will have to stop you for 1 minute and ask you a question. When you make claims such as the yoga practice being an ancient African art form, I would need you to delve deeper into that.
Yeah.
And tell our listeners why you made that assertion that it came from Africa. Is there books that you read in your training to be a yoga instructor? Where did you come up with the analysis that it came from Africa?
Yeah, actually, in the books that I initially started studying, that's not what I read. And so I had to just personally dig a little bit deeper. And I actually saw some stuff online from this guy from Chicago. Like, his name is escaping me right now, but he does Kemetic yoga. And I started studying a little bit more about what he does, and I'm like, where is he getting this from? Oh my God, this is amazing. And so I was like, yes, let me figure it out. This is where it is. This is the truth.
It seems like every time you hold a mic and you answer my questions, it creates another question.
Let's call an interview.
Here we go. Explain to
Oh, I
our
forgot I'm a
listeners.
comedian too.
I see that. I see that. But explain to our listeners the difference in the types of yoga. You just mentioned one particular type of yoga activity. What are the different types of yoga activities that you have out there that our listeners could get into?
Yeah, there. Oh my God, there's so many different styles, and different forms. I mean, but basically, like ultimately, there's some really simple stuff, and then everything else kind of branches off from that, kind of like a tree. And so you have what's called your hatha yoga, and that's kind of like the fundamental like asana movement. And within the hatha yoga practice, hatha basically means balance between the sun and the moon, and that's what we all, male and female energy that we have. And so from that, then people kind of branched off and created their own personal styles and the way that they approach the practice, and then started teaching it.
Is there different? There's always a means to end with everything. Is there different means to ends with the different types of yoga activities that there are out there?
No, I don't want to say there's a means to an end, but the practice is always evolving. It's never ending. It's constant cycle. Just like our own bodies, like from one day to the next, we're changing, we're shifting, we feel different, and the yoga practice kind of evolves from that. Yeah.
Okay, so for our listeners out there, what are some of the benefits that I would get out of doing yoga?
I would say, so the first thing that I would tell you, because you're a beginner, you're a newbie, neophyte, and I would say just take your time. Don't push it. It's a practice. It's not something that you're going to master in a couple of days, in years. I mean, it'll take a lifetime for you to get to a place. And like I said, the body's constantly changing, so we're going to be evolving, and the practice is going to shift. And one day you'll love a pose, and you're like, yes, I can do that. And then the next day you wake up and you're like, oh crap, my body hurts and this doesn't feel good. But the other thing that I would say to you is to stay with your breath. Like, it always comes back to the breath. Always comes back to the breath.
Okay, so apart from getting my stamina up, that's what I'm getting out of it.
Yes.
Apart from getting
Increasing your lung capacity.
yes,
Key.
exactly. I could go all night. But apart from that, what are some of the benefits that practicing yoga would give me?
Yeah.
A new fight, as you say.
So first of all, it's going to decrease your stress. It helps to balance out your central nervous system, and that's kind of why the breath is so important. It's going to help your heart rate. If you have, say, diabetes or some other, there's so many diseases out there that it can actually help to decrease the symptoms associated with it. Of course, I mean, we are, as human beings, we are made to move. We're not made to just sit in chairs. And so constantly moving your body stimulates, oh man, we have to get into this. It stimulates all of the thousands and thousands of nerves in our bodies. And we have like basically these 7 key energy centers in our bodies, which are called chakras. And the yoga practice stimulates all of that, so it takes us to our higher place.
Okay. I'm gonna need to start reading some books. I got so many questions. We're not gonna have enough time.
I can always come back.
But apart from the physical activity, yoga, and following the practice of yoga, do you integrate a certain diet as well with your practice of yoga?
Well, for me, I do. Not all yogis do that. I actually yogis.
Okay.
Yogis and yoginis. Yeah.
Okay.
I actually do incorporate like a vegetarian diet. However, I became a vegetarian before I actually became a yogi. I became a vegetarian at 14. So, like, I was already in this state of mind that I needed to eat clean and be healthy, and also I love animals. Like, I really love animals, and so I needed to be kind to them as well. So, yeah.
Okay. Your journey as a yoga instructor, it has taken you worldwide. What are some of the things that being a yoga instructor has allowed you to do that the normal listener would not think a yoga instructor is doing at this point in time?
Man, that's kind of hard to say. I don't know.
Okay, starting out as a yoga instructor.
Yeah.
I'll put it in a different way.
Okay.
Starting out as a yoga instructor, what are some of the things that you have experienced as a yoga instructor that you did not think
What happened? Yeah.
delving into this activity
Yeah.
would take you?
Well, you know, the funny part is that when I first started, I was just like, I'm just teaching. Whoever shows up, I'm just going to teach. And I still approach it that way. Like whoever shows up, if it's one person or if it's, 8,000 people, I'm just going to teach what from my heart. But I think the most amazing part is that teaching yoga has given me the opportunity to travel around the world. And like Bali was on my bucket list. And like I went there to teach yoga. Like,
Okay, so
that was the only reason I went there, just
you
to
have
teach.
you've traveled to Bali, India to teach yoga.
Yeah. It's in Bali.
Okay. There are different levels to yoga from what I have been told. What are the different levels and what level are you currently?
It's a good question. Well, the levels are a weird thing, right? I mean, because it's all arbitrary. So it's really based upon, your own personal perspective. I still consider myself an infant in this practice because I'm still in that path of seeking enlightenment and, searching for that ultimate bliss. I taste it every now and then I'm like, oh, and then there it is. So I'm still an infant.
Are there any forms of yoga that helps you practice self-defense?
I think there are quite a few, but I'm not super familiar with it.
Okay.
My self-defense is my mind, my heart.
Yeah, I asked that question because I'm looking at a young lady that's about maybe 5'4".
Oh,
Five.
that was great. You can leave it at that.
Oh, okay. So you're a very
That's some
physically
guns.
strong-looking young woman. Due to the benefits of yoga, I would suggest. Okay, you, in addition to traveling and doing yoga, you say you've been to Bali. Obviously, people are reaching out to you to instruct them
Yes.
on the art of yoga. What more have you done? Have you actually released any type of instructional?
Yeah, I have, oh my God, probably over 40 to 60 yoga videos. I haven't really actually fully counted the number. Online with a variety of different companies. And then I also have meditation videos and audios recordings as well.
Okay, we actually didn't want to freak the listeners out by throwing on a meditation track and just making them think that we in here just doing illicit stuff. But tell us a little bit about the meditation tracks that you have released and what is that about actually?
Yeah. So actually the first meditation set that I released was a 30-day meditation. And so it was a challenge for people to just kind of like an introductory meditation practice. So that went on for 30 days. And actually I recorded that in Berlin. But they broadcasted it all over, the world. And then after that, I did a couple of other audio meditations, but my recent one actually is a self-production, which I'm really proud of, because usually I work at really big companies, but I just did my own production work with a set of meditations that combine my poetry and meditation. So people get a little taste of my poetry in the beginning, and then I guide them through a meditation practice.
I think we're probably gonna have. We're not probably. We're gonna play one of these tracks for the listeners to get into what we're talking about, but I would need you to delve deeper into and explain to us
Sure.
what is the meditation tracks about. You said you do poetry as well.
Yep.
So are you putting poetry? Is it spoken word? Is it?
Yeah, I guess it's basically that. I call it the soul cipher meditations, and cipher is just kind of like those coded words of expression, and so that's kind of how I write.
Do you have backing tracks?
Yeah, I'm slowly pulling it out. Actually, one of my friends, the guy that did the background music, he's the one that said, Faith, you should combine your poetry and your meditation. I was like, oh.
And this
That's
is
a
where
good
we
idea.
get into what we do here at King Long Caribbean Showcase, the music, meshing everything together. We're meshing yoga and music right now. But delving deeper into that, how do you go about actually picking the music that you would put to your meditation tracks?
It's all about energy. Yeah, it's all about energy and what feels good. Yeah.
Okay. Where are some of the places, besides, you mentioned earlier, it's taking you to Bali, you've done projects in Berlin. As far as performing live, I recently got a video where you were performing alongside legendary reggae artists.
Yes.
How did that come about, and how do you put that production together?
Yeah, I was really lucky enough. It was the same event that Tough Like Iron. The reggae and yoga festival in DC, and actually the creators were like, hey, you practice and teach to yoga, you throw yoga parties that are merged with reggae music all the time. I've done some stuff here in Brooklyn, and they were like, can you figure it out and make it work? And I'm like, yeah, whatever song they want to play, because that's how I am. Just put it on, play it, I listen, I get the vibe, and then I go. Because for me, again, it's all about feeling and soul and like in my heart, and makes it really easy. So we didn't, and the funny part about it, when I actually did that with them, we didn't rehearse or anything.
So you actually perform methods of yoga to backing tracks by artists performing live.
Yeah.
Who are some of the artists that you've performed with so far?
Actually, most of the stuff, actually the only like live music where actual musicians was actually with Third World, and then all the other stuff is like
Great
I have.
start.
Yeah, everything else has been with DJs. They're just like throwing down the tracks and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Apart from performing with live bands, the legendary Third World, DJs, where are some of the other places that your yoga practice have taken you?
Yeah, Jamaica several times, at least 3 times. The Midwest, which is, everybody needs yoga, even in the Midwest part of the United States. Belfast, the UK. Let's see. What other places? All over the U.S., which is kind of crazy. I mean, I've bounced around from Chicago to Atlanta. Just a couple of days ago, I was in the Blue Ridge Mountains of West Virginia. And so, yeah, I bounce around.
Okay. There's one place. What is your connection to DC? You said that you performed at the Yoga Fest in DC. There's another place that I've been told that you performed at in DC that you have not mentioned as of yet.
Yeah.
What is your connection to DC?
So my connection to DC is I actually own a yoga studio in DC. So my yoga studio is there. I just so happen to enjoy living in New York.
Do you have a yoga studio in New York?
No,
as well?
I moved back to New York because I lived in New York years ago, and I moved back to New York about 1.5 years ago. And my main reason for moving back to New York is so I can have a little, interesting enough, oddly enough, to have a little downtime to actually create. But
Downtown in New York?
well, because I stay in my apartment, and when I come home from traveling, I'm in my apartment, and I'm just like, I'm churning out product, and I'm
Okay.
creating. So it's kind of like my little cave.
It's a getaway.
Yes, yes. Because when I'm in DC, the studio is there, and when I would come home into DC, it's like jump right into studio management. You know, wearing all those business owner hats, and it kind of took me away from creating. And at the end of the day, I know like the yoga practice is a way of expression, and so for me it's important to create.
Okay. There's a place that you performed in DC that you have not mentioned as of yet.
Where?
Your bio is telling me this, and hopefully I'm not mistaken.
My body.
Your bio.
Oh, my body. That's like, what was that doing? A little shake or something?
Your bio is
Oh, okay.
telling me that you
Okay.
performed at the White House.
I have performed at the White House. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Yeah.
Yes.
Actually,
It's amazing that you forgot about that.
and I was just there a couple of weeks ago doing that.
Okay.
Because I've done it a couple of times. It's the White House Easter egg roll.
You see, I got a little news about the Easter egg hunt recently, and it was about Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Yeah, they were.
But they didn't mention Miss Faith Hunter.
I know, they
but,
left that out.
Tell us about what you were doing at the
Yeah.
Easter
So
egg hunt.
what I was doing along myself and probably like 20 other yoga teachers from around the U.S., we were holding down the yoga garden. So at the Easter egg roll, they have tons and tons of activities, and like Michelle Obama's Get Move campaign is all about moving the body.
She looks like she does yoga.
She
too.
does yoga. Actually, and I met her this time, so I'm waiting on my picture from the White House photographer.
Beautiful.
Yes,
Official.
yes, it's official.
You're certified.
Yeah. Check.
Okay. So internationally, you're touring, you're doing yoga workshops. If anyone's listening to the program now and they would like to reach out to Miss Faith Hunter, it's faithhunter.com,
Yep.
the website.
Pretty simple.
Are there other avenues of reaching out to Miss Faith Hunter?
Yeah, I'm actually all over social media. So I have Instagram, and that is actually Spiritually Fly. And then my Twitter is Faith Hunter Yoga, and I also am on Facebook. And actually, I did some Snapchatting from here a couple of minutes ago.
I got to get up on the Snapchat.
I'm really not that great, but I'm trying. I try. I don't snap. It's funny because I don't really Snapchat yoga. I Snapchat everything else. Like, oh, I'm on the subway. Oh, here are my dogs. And then I was like, hey, I'm in the studio here. An interview. Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm Spiritually Fly there.
Speaking of Snapchat, speaking of social media, your presence is on social media. You have a website. You have your studio.
Yes.
But can our listeners reach out to you and maybe get tips? You're a paid professional, so I'm not expecting you to give out too many of your secrets. But where can our listeners reach out to Faith Hunter and get more in tune with the yoga movement?
Yeah. Actually, one place where I do take requests because it kind of helps me create content is YouTube. So if people are like, hey, I have this back injury, or I'm stressed out, or blah, 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 or I've been trying to do this yoga pose and I can't quite get it, can you give me some tips? Then that actually gives me some content and info, kind of ideas around me creating new videos.
Okay. Once again, Miss Faith Hunter, the projects that you have released with the meditation, I would like for you to promote it, let our listeners know where they can reach out and get this, and what is it all about, the projects as a whole?
So the latest and the newest project, again, it's called Soul Cipher Meditations, and it's actually 5 meditations, and I give people a bonus, so technically there's 6 meditations, and it starts out, like I said, with a small short poem, and I just kind of like lay that on top of a track that my friend Raheem Jamal Perkins did for me. And then followed by that is just simple guided meditation. And they're anywhere from like 8 to 10 minutes long, so they're pretty short. Yeah.
Okay.
And you can find, you can find them on my website, faithhunter.com. You just click under shop, because I have a link that says shop, and then under shop, you'll see meditations.
Okay, so that's the website, once again, faithhunter.com. And for our newbies, as you would say, the neophytes, listening to a meditation track of 8-9 minutes, that's not out of the normal. That's the normal.
That's actually pretty short.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty short.
Are you, the meditation tracks, is it something that you sit in a corner and you're quiet listening, or is it tracks that you could actually break a sweat to?
No, unless if the track makes you nervous, there's really no reason to break a sweat.
Okay, I'm just asking.
It's
I'm
all
new
good.
to the yoga.
But it's like actually once people download it, they can put it on their phone, their smartphone, and you can listen to it in the corner in your house, just chilling. You can lie down on your back, turn the tracks on, and listen to them. Enjoy. You can be on the subway,
And this is once again Faith Hunter, entitled
Soul Cipher Meditations.
It's available on all digital platforms.
It's available on my website, and then you go there, you purchase it, and then you can download it to your phone.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it's yours for eternity.
Okay. You mentioned earlier in the program that you also put poetry to your meditation.
Yes.
So before we tune out, once again, we're going to put the spotlight on the artist. Sniper, no rhythm is needed, I guess.
No, give me some rhythm.
You want?
Am I gonna you want me to say some stuff?
No. Yeah, we want that spoken word.
Oh my
Sniper,
goodness.
run that rhythm and let her do her little poetry.
Whatever it may be, I don't know.
Miss Faith Hunter, the yoga instructor, the poet. Check out the website, faithhunter.com.
I've never done that. See, this is new. Usually I write stuff down.
You got to be able to go off of the top as an instructor.
You better give me something good over there.
DJ Radio.
Put me on the spot here. Alright, here we go. I have to close my eyes because I've never done this before. Here we go. Exclusive. Alright. Love beyond every mountain, climbing high within my heart. Moments in time that I breathe in and smell your sweet taste. My eyes float into yours as we drift along the waters of our souls. Flying, floating, loving, tasting every single moment as I fall into your arms. You crawl upon my face with a sweet kiss, and I love.
Nice.
I had to do that with my eyes closed. Yeah. That's enough.
Imagine the
Yeah. How did you like that? Was that enough for you?
That was enough because it was spontaneous.
It was.
It was spontaneous.
I wonder what I was thinking about.
You closed your eyes and you gave the listeners a little bit of feeling of it. But we're going to go into one of the meditation tracks.
And the breath that fuels
before
my
we
soul.
tune out. TGM Radio, King
I
on
surrender
Showcase.
to divinity and the cycle of completion. I celebrate my imperfections with glory